Okay, and we are live. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to my business page. My name is Rawan, and I am the person running this page to inspire as many families as possible to change their lives in so many ways. And I decided for 2022 to actually start a new series on my page to answer the most common questions that are being asked. But first of all, I would love to welcome Debra to my page, and I want her to introduce herself, tell us where she is from, what does she do for a living right now, and then I'll get to my questions. Hi, Debra.
Hi. Well, first of all, I'm a child of God. I am a mother of six, a grandmother of 18, and a great grandmother of six, and I'm a successful online business owner.
That's awesome. And where are you coming at from us? Like,
I'm in Mexico right now. I'm originally from the East Coast of Canada, a little province of New Brunswick, and in 2006 moved to the oil sands in Fort McMurray, Alberta, and then in 2018 moved here to Mexico, sunny Mexico.
That's awesome. That's amazing. It's very exciting to live there, especially moving from Alberta and all the cold. You're not missing much here.
No, that's what I hear.
That's awesome. And Deborah, one of the most common questions that people ask and individuals are like worried about, like, okay, you guys are talking about an online business, being your own boss, living the freedom lifestyle, just like you're doing right now, and not having to worry about, income, expenses, and all of that. But like, how can I do it? Like, I have no experience when it comes to the marketing place. I have no experience when it comes to the online space as well. What kind of skills do you need in order to succeed? And I thought about the whole community, and then I think I thought to myself, you know what, Deborah is the perfect person to answer that question for us. So
Yeah.
can you touch base on that for us, please?
Well, you know what? First of all, to do this business, you need a why. You need a reason why you want more out of life. And everything else will happen because, when I started this business, I didn't even know how to put a picture on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lot of fear because I thought, maybe I'm too old, maybe, this and maybe that, and maybe I can't do this. And what if I am big successful? What am I going to do? Like, how do I deal with that? What if I fail? And, I had so much worries and like, I'm still not tech savvy. I'm far from tech savvy, but what I've learned that to do, I can do it. But when something new comes up, it's like, oh no, I got something else to learn, right? But you know what? My why is still strong enough because this is a business that, God forbid, if something should happen to me today, I have it willed to one of my daughters. And
Mm-hmm.
she could step in, sit back, and live off of the residual money that's coming in every month, the bonuses, or she could step into my shoes and build it twice as big as I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that was one of the reasons why I liked this business, why I knew this business was right, is because you can do that. And most businesses you can't, right?
Definitely. That's true.
Yeah, my cat.
There's the
So
cat.
sorry about that.
That's
She's on
okay.
the computer, so hopefully she doesn't move it too much.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like having a big why is definitely a great reason to discipline yourself, to
Yeah.
learn. Yeah, to learn on a daily basis, right? To learn on a daily
Mhm.
basis, to have the will, the desire for you to work and to learn a thing. It's funny when you mentioned that, like when you started this business, like you didn't even know how to post on social media, and
No.
Deborah, now you're one of the most successful individuals in our community, and a leader that inspired thousands of families to step out of their shell and their comfort zone. And even you inspired a lot of. I know in our community you have a chat called 50 Plus, where you help people that are, getting closer to the golden years to
Yes.
believe in themselves, right?
Right.
And how did you find that power within you that, okay, I want to learn how to post on Facebook, I want to learn how to take, the training site, I want to learn about the back system, and I want to pay it forward for individuals that don't have the belief in themselves to make it happen. So can you touch base a little bit about that?
Well, one of the things is I knew I wanted this business because the first time I seen it, I knew it was going to work. I didn't know how, I didn't know how long it was going to take, but I could see the numbers and I could see how the business was going to work. And I knew it wasn't going to be a get rich quick. So I knew I was going to have to, I was going to have to learn, and I was going to have to do a lot of work to, for it to happen. It's not hard work. Anybody can do it.
Mm.
It was a little bit longer for me because at my age, we learn a little bit slower, or I do. I should speak for myself because I learn a little bit slower than most. And, and you young people come in here and you grew up on social media, you grew up using the computer. And I used to work on a computer 12 to 14 hours a day, but it was income tax programs, database programs, Microsoft Excel and PowerPoint and programs like that, but never social media or anything. So I had a why and a want so bad in my heart that I was willing to learn anything. And I knew if I didn't show up every day at my computer to do my work, it wasn't going to happen.
Definitely.
It
And
wasn't going to happen, right?
you know
I
what?
had to make the decision to do it myself.
Yeah, that's true. You're talking about like being young and doing the training. Like, even for me, when I started the business, I was 25, and it was like 7 years for me out of school. And I had nothing, like, I didn't have the mentality of, reading books or listening to audiobooks or growing myself on any level. Like, I was only focused on just raising my kids, like taking care of my family. So when I started, I had to watch some of the videos 4 or 5 times to understand how it's done.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a struggle for me at the beginning, but the beauty of our brain, like God created this brain that if you repeat like something that you want to learn, if you keep on repeating it, eventually your brain is going to catch on it. Like, you're going to learn it, you're going to be fast
Yeah.
at it, and you're gonna learn those skills, because those are skills that you're training your brain to do it, and keep on going.
Yeah.
So
And our I'm sorry. And our training program is so easy. It doesn't matter what education level you are or how long you've been in school or out of school, or if you even went to school. If you can watch a video and can read, that's all you need to do. Right. And I was having difficulty though. I was having difficulty because I had a different computer than what the guy was doing the training on. I'm thinking, mine doesn't look like that. And, Darren would say, yeah, but look, this is what, it says the same thing. It's just in a different spot. And I'd say, oh, well, that I can work with that. I can work with that. And some days I'd look around my computer for that one word and I think, I can't see it. And then my grandson would walk in. He said, right there, Grandma. Like, so sometimes you just need a second set of eyes to look at something, right? But
that
I was going to do this. It did not matter. It didn't matter what I had to do. I was going to build this business because I seen the potential in it, and I seen the potential of helping so many people. And the only way for anybody to fail in this business is not to do it or to quit.
or to quit.
Right? It's
Definitely.
not get rich quick. If somebody goes and buys a $1 million franchise, in 5 years' time, they're going to be very fortunate to have a good income coming in and everything paid off, right? That doesn't
Mhm.
usually happen,
That's true.
right?
Have you always thought of having an online business and living in Mexico and running it from there, or you just had the dream of moving to Mexico, but you didn't know how you're going to be accomplishing that?
I always had a dream of moving to Mexico, but I never ever seen it ever going to be able to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2015, my job was eliminated in Fort McMurray, and I thought, what am I going to do? You know, I'm 60 years old. I go apply for jobs, and I had to come to the realization that people doesn't want to hire anybody over 60. Well, I would not have been able to survive on the little small pension I get and my Canada pension and OAS. It would be impossible. I would have to be living with one of my children, being a burden on them because I wouldn't be financially stable to be able to do anything. Or I'd have to be put in some kind of a government facility where you live and breathe what they tell you to do, right? Like, I don't know,
Definitely.
but retirement in Canada is not all cracked up. I'd like to have the person who said, after you turn 65 and retire is the golden years. I don't know who said that, but it had to have been a young person because it definitely wasn't somebody our age, because you start, your health starts deteriorating, you get older, you don't have much money to live on, let alone be able to move and live in a country as beautiful as Mexico, right? But when this online business started working for me, I thought, this is what I'm doing. I'm moving
Definitely.
where I want to be warm. I'm tired of being cold, right?
That's awesome. So, Deborah, you worked for your entire life and you
Right.
had
Yes.
a big family. You worked so hard, and then still you got to the age of 60 and you looked at yourself, and I'm like, this is not
Right.
enough for me. Um,
Exactly.
I can't live like that. This is not what I worked for my entire life to reach this level. So right now, when you see yourself living the life, like walking out on the beach or being in a sunny place, and do you think it was worth it for you to take that full year to learn the training and start understanding the business and putting all that hard work for a full year to get to
Yeah.
the you're at?
Yes, and if it had taken me 2, 3, 4, or even 5, when I first started, I gave myself a 5-year goal. If
Mhm.
I can do this for 5 years and at the end of 5 years be making $5,000 a month, that was my goal, just to be making $5,000 a month. And I thought, if I can do that within 5 years, it's a lot more than what I have right now, right?
Mhm.
And apparently, I'm not going to be getting that by going, I guess the only job probably I could have probably got at that time would have been a Walmart greeter. They're the only ones that hire senior citizens, right? So, it's I yeah, I just can't imagine. I would have taken however long it took me to do this business because I believe in it and I know I've seen it help so many people. And I see people like you being able to be home with your children. Oh my God, I never had that privilege. I had a baby on one day and back to work, a couple of days later. And I had 6 children. Sorry if my computer moves, my cat's
That's
at it again. Sorry.
that's okay. We all have either pets or kids.
Or
So
kids, one or the other. This is worse than any kid ever thought of being, this cat. She's looking at me. Anyways, one year for Christmas, Rawan, I gave my kids a book, and the book was about their childhood, the good, the bad, the ugly. What they would change, what they wouldn't change, what their favorite thing was about their father, their mother, their siblings. It was all about their childhood. And after I gave it to them, and I said to them, don't give it back quickly. I really want you to put a lot of thought in that. Don't worry about hurting my feelings, because this may help you as a parent not make the mistakes that I made as a parent, right? So, and then I thought, oh, maybe I don't want to know these answers. Maybe that was a mistake, me doing that. And I thought, and my youngest daughter gave it back, about 3 months later. And I thought, oh no, this can't be good. This can't be good. So I get that book out, and I mean, just right from the very beginning of what she loved, it just tears your heart out, right? And you're reading this book. And the only thing she said she would have changed in her childhood is she wished her mother had been home more, because I worked all the time,
Mhm.
all the time. And I will never get that back as long as I live. So to see people like you with your small children, oh my gosh, it just melts my heart, because
Thank-
this business is the answer, right? This
Definitely.
business is the answer. And is it work? Yeah, we got to work it. Nothing's free in life. If you can make this kind of money doing nothing, please let me know, right? Where I can do it, because there's just nowhere. I mean, you have to work. And if you treat this business like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. And I'm talking about a hobby. People knitting mitts, and then they go to the markets and sell one pair of mitts for $5. Well, guaranteed, it took a lot more than 1 hour to knit those pair of mitts. Plus, you had to buy the yarn, and you're making $5. Like, that's a hobby. You're
That's
putting money into something that you're not getting the return back, right? So if you want to treat it like a hobby, show up for an hour here and an hour there once in a while. That's a hobby. If you want to treat it like a business, you come in and you put your all into it, right? And you work it until it happens.
Yeah, and it all comes back to the why, right? Just like you said,
Exactly.
number one, it's not a get rich quick. It takes
Mhm.
time, like everything else. But if I think of other business, people that really put the time, Deborah, into it, really put the passion, really put the
Yes.
100%, like taking you a year, 2 or 3 is not a long time. Like I still can't believe it that this month is like my 4 year anniversary in this business. And the accomplishment that I was able to provide for me, my family, the community, I would never thought that I would be able to provide, right? So
Mhm.
definitely it comes back to your why. My why, it was my kids at that time. Now I'm working for myself, for my retirement, because my kids are in school now. I can focus more on my personal development. I can focus more about my future, my husband's future, and I can make things happen. So for everybody that really wants a change in their life, it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to take time.
Exactly.
It's gonna include failure, struggles. It's all part of life. You just have to find yourself the right community that will always motivate you, will always push you to be the best version of yourself. You have to change your mindset,
Mhm.
and the way that you look at your life, and how much you appreciate yourself and the people that are surrounding you. Before I end this, would you like to add anything before we end this go live today, to inspire the individuals that are watching us today?
Well, I worked over 50 years of my life. 50 years I've worked for somebody else. And, when I finished work, I wasn't making $5,000 a month on a pension or more than that. Then there's a lot of people in this community making a lot more than that, right? But what if I hadn't have done this business? Where would I be? Right? I talked about that earlier, and I that really concerns me, where my life would be if I had not found this business. But
Mhm.
I honestly believe that everybody and anybody can do this business. It doesn't matter where they're from, how old they are, as long as they have a why. Why do they want to work a business? Why do they want that extra income coming in? How many people can they help? I'm involved in a great church here in Mexico, and we helped, over the pandemic. Helped over 12,000 families, because
Beautiful.
down here, when there's no work, there's no money, there's no government help, there's no nothing. And when you are old, like I am down here, there's no pensions.
Yeah.
You have to live with your children or on the street and beg for money. So, it's not the lifestyle like Canada. We were spoiled in Canada, and everything was handed to us on a silver platter. I mean, yeah, we work, but not like they have to here and things, right? So, if you can do something that can help somebody else, I'll do this for, I hope to live to be 120. So I hope to still be doing this then, right? And I hope to be able to help a lot more people. But I don't understand why everybody just doesn't register on the web pages with their name and their email address and just watch that 90-minute information session. Don't take my word for it or Rawan's word for it or anybody else's. Make your own decision.
Definitely.
Register, watch that information session, and then you will know if it's something for you or not. And you know what? If it's not for them, we're going to love them anyways. It doesn't really matter, right? If it's not for them. But everybody needs to check it out.
That's true. And that's why like people are still watching until now. Like we have 57 people watching us live.
Oh, wow.
as we speak. Yeah, and why people are watching, because people want like that inspiration. They want to see testimonials. They want to know that is doable, and the more you make them feel like relatable, to your story, to your what, your struggles, the more people can connect with you on so many levels. Thank you, Debra. Today it was awesome to have you on board. I'm super grateful that you took the time, and I want to thank you for inspiring us, the whole community. More than 110,000 individuals are inspired by your story on a daily basis. And yeah, hopefully we'll meet in Mexico one day.
Yes, come visit me. Yeah, I'd love to have you come visit. There's just one thing I want to add. When we get older, our health, like, people's health starts getting worse. Mine has gotten a lot better. When you don't have stress in your life, you don't have illness. Stress brings 99% of the illnesses, and elderly people my age have a lot of stress because they don't have the money coming in to know where they're going to be able to pay their bills, let alone buy a gift for their family or their grandchildren, right? So
Yeah.
what a difference when you get a successful business. What a difference. And don't stress over building it. Just know it's going to happen, right?
And the sun in Mexico helps a lot.
Oh, the sun is big. That's huge. Huge.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today. And I will be announcing the next go live in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Deborah. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
the
God
sun.
bless.
Bye.